Hey guys, welcome to Coco's World Season 1. I'm so excited to have my wonderful friend here with me, Ty. And before we get started, I want to go ahead and introduce him and just tell you all the wonderful and beautiful things about him. So, Ty is an entrepreneur at heart who has always created his own path. Ty started his dance company in 2015 and went viral in 2022 when Beyonce's mom reposted a video of his, and we will be talking about that, Ty. From there, he began accepting guest invitations to be interviewed by multiple talk show hosts. He now has a world-known dance company that hosts over 100 instructors, including myself. I am one, all over the globe who teaches fierce fitness with a combined following of over 1 million. With his contagious energy, who loves to spread peace, love, and joy to the world, I would like to give a warm welcome to my dear friend, Ty Gilbert. How are
Hello,
you today, Ty?
I'm good. How are you doing, boo?
I am doing fabulous. I'm just thankful that you're able to be here with us today and just be a part of season 1 of Coco's World. It's just, my heart is so big and so happy that you accepted my invitation to be a part of the podcast.
Of course, I'm excited to be here. Anytime I get a chance to, first of all, be with the queen like yourself, and just to spread some love and joy to the world, I'm always open and I'm here.
Well, thank you. So, just to get started, I wanted to allow you anything that I know that you're worldwide, um, just gifted and handsome. You know this,
Oh.
but I want to allow you to have the floor to kind of just tell us who you are. If there's anything that I left out.
Yeah, no, I think you got everything. My name is Ty. I go by Fierce Fitness Ty on social media. I
Yes.
live in Orlando, Florida. I'm originally from Wisconsin, so I got to give a shout out to my Milwaukee people from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 34 years old, engaged, loving life. That's just who I am. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to talk about you and Deacon, but they're the beautifulest couple. I mean, people think that Shelby and I are cute, but like they are like our yin to our yang. Like
Oh,
Shelby and I are the girl versions, and Ty and Deacon are the guy versions, and I absolutely love y'all's relationship. So
thank
kudos to
you.
y'all.
Because you guys are so cute. I love y'all too.
Well, thank you. So, what was your experience like growing up? I know that you shared you're from Wisconsin, Milwaukee, the cheese state.
Yes.
What was
Um,
that?
Growing up for me was just it was very different. It's almost like two different worlds from where I was in Milwaukee to where I am now. Just because everything was just very it was very close off from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Wisconsin's very close off. We're very outdated out there. Um I wasn't exposed to a lot, so I didn't know what I wanted to be in the world. I just know that like I was this bubbly kid. That's all I knew, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I played football like all my life growing up until I moved to Florida. I didn't move to Florida until I was 15, but I played football the entire time just because that's what my family told me I needed to do. So this whole time I was like, I'm just gonna grow up and be a football player, you know?
So, Ty, you played football.
I played football my all the way till high school.
What position? I have to know.
I played defense.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, and you were really good at it.
I was really good at football. I was really good. I'm very fast. I'm very like I love puzzles. So like for me, football was like a puzzle piece. Like how can I take this person down? I wasn't in love with football at all. I just did it because that's what everybody told me I needed to do.
That's fair. Now, do you feel that that has helped in your ability for dancing? Because I know that a lot of football players sometimes they'll take ballet, especially the kickers. I don't know the positions, but the guys that kick the field goals,
Yes.
they sometimes take ballet for flexibility.
Yep. For me, I would say absolutely not. The reason, the reason is because it's like the other way around. Like a lot of people they go from football to being at like to taking dance classes to help them with their speed and their agility. For
Right.
me, it's just like I just want to be a dancer. So football just didn't help me. Like I just want to be a dancer.
So, what was that transition like from football to dancing? What did that look like for you?
Oh, it was traumatic. So I played football my entire life because I just have a broader shape. That's just who I am. I'm just a thicker male. Like no matter if I lose weight or not, I'm still gonna have broad shoulders. I have thick legs. That's just who I am. So I mean, even looking at my body growing up, I was like, okay, I need to play football. Just like somebody who's very, very tall, you think they
Play
should play
basketball.
basketball,
Hmm.
right? But for me, I was in high school and I was on a football team, and they just thought I was going to be this football star in 10th grade. And I was going to football practice, but I was watching the dance team because I was like, you know what? Excuse me. I was like, I want to be a part of the dance team. And
Yes.
yes, sadly, one day I just stopped showing up to football practice and I started going to dance practice. And that's how it happened.
That's beautiful though. So did you, so I'm guessing you tried out, you were accepted, and the coaches never talked to one another?
No, so what? Yeah, the coaches kind of at my school, that the dance team coaches really didn't talk to the football coaches too much,
Okay.
even though the dance team would perform at the
Right.
football games.
Yes.
So what happened was, I just wasn't happy. I just wasn't happy. And a little bit of backstory is like, at that time, I was really lost of who I was. I just knew like at that time, when you're young, I didn't know like I knew people were straight and gay, but when you're that young and you're 15 years old or 13 years old, whatever, you're not putting a title on yourself because that's
Yes.
very scary. But I just knew that I did not mix in with football. The dance team had all these boys, and I looked at the boys on the dance team. Of course, all the boys were gay, and I was just like, they just looked so happy with who
Yeah.
they were. So I remember one day I just put online that on my MySpace page back in the day, I put online, I put bisexual, even though I was gay, but that was my safe spot. And I stopped showing up. I didn't go to school the next day because I just got scared. And then when I went back to school, that's when I put the football team for the dance team. And I just remember the football players coming up to me and they was like, "Hey man, what's going on?" I was like, they're like, are you gay?" Because they saw it on my MySpace page. And I said, "Yeah, I'm gay." And I remember they turned around to the rest of the football team and it was like, "Yeah, guys, he's gay." But it was like they all started dapping me up, giving me high fives.
Yeah.
It was all love. And then I just didn't go back to football. The football coach did see me in the hallway. He was like, "What's going on with you, man?" I was like, I don't want to play football no more. Like,
I love that though, that you had such team camaraderie and support from your classmates, because I know when I was in high school, they are some of the best years of your life, but also the worst,
yeah,
because people, they're clicky, and then also not being willing to be so accepting. And coming from a small, well, you had moved to Florida by high school, so you weren't in
yes,
Wisconsin
I
anymore.
was not.
Okay. So that's probably also better, but coming from a small town like where I'm from, people still have struggles. Like I mean, I came out in college, but whenever I came out, it was like, oh, I never seen this. Like you did pageants and cheerleading. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not for me. So
Yeah,
you should accept that. Like, but I always think like if I would have done this in high school, how hard my 4 years
yeah.
been. So I'm just so happy to hear that they were so accepting and it was a positive experience for you.
Yeah, and yeah, and thank you for that because for most people, it's not a positive experience.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful that I did have a positive experience because I have friends that have horror stories that they're coming out, not only with their friends in their high school, but with their parents. And for me, I just didn't have that problem. Like when I came out of high school, I was just accepted as like one of the guys. That's just how I was. Even with my family, I mean, my family just took a little bit longer. My mom understood. My grandma understood. I'm lying. My grandma did not understand at first. Um, but it took my family did end up coming around, and now to this day, like we look how far we came, and my sexuality is not even a question anymore.
I love that for you. So bridging over from family to, dancing and football, I guess my next question would be, with your family, did you grow up really religious? Do you feel that, based off of your answer with that, do you feel that that's what has helped your family to be so accepting, or your mom to be so supportive in this transition for you?
Did you say with religion?
Yes. Yes. Did you grow up religious?
No, not at all. Because my entire family, I grew up Jehovah Witness.
Wow.
Not, yeah, I grew up Jehovah Witness, not Jehovah Witness right now because somehow with Jehovah Witness it always trickles down to like your grandparents are, but then
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like the kids are never Jehovah Witness. But most of my family was Jehovah Witness, so like I grew up with my family, and when I say my family, I don't mean my mother or my father. Well, I don't really speak to my father, but I don't like. I grew up with my cousins, like a lot of my guy cousins saying the F word. Like if they see somebody gay walking down the street, oh, look at that F, you know what I mean? And it was very
Yes.
toxic because Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I'm from, is very, 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 it was at that time a toxic place.
Wow.
It is the number one worst place in the United States to raise African American children.
I did not know that.
Yes, and a lot of people don't know that. And it's the fifth worst place in the United States for education. So I grew up in an environment.
Up there. So
Huh?
I said South Carolina's not up there
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it comes to
right.
that
But
for education.
where Milwaukee is up there. So I just if I never left my city, I probably would still be DL right now. And but yeah. So with religion, that scared me to come out even more because with Jehovah Witness, there's so many rules to it. But when I came to Florida and I just seen people being free and being out here and living their life, I was like, I will be damned if I'm gonna be put inside this box. I'm gonna live my life
I love that.
freely, and if I take heat for it for a second, it's okay. I take that heat to live the rest of my life to be free.
I love that for you. And I'm so happy that your mom made that decision because whatever her decision was for relocating, it was in the end, it was a better outcome for all of you, it seems.
Yeah, it was like literally. I always had family in Florida. Like most of my family was in Fort Myers, and some of my cousins in Kissimmee. But legit, like my grandma left, and when my grandma left, it was a trickle effect. So my grandma left, then my mom left, then my aunts came, some of my cousins came, and it was probably the best decision we could have made. I mean, I love Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but I have not been back in 18 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
So, and do you have any family still there or no?
No, I have a lot of family there, and the
You
thing about it
don't.
is, yeah, I love them, and I'm like, if y'all want to see me, y'all better come to Florida. I'll take y'all to Disney, Universal. We go out for a drink. But Milwaukee, it just scares me. It scares me to go back home because one of my cousins, he was in college, leaving college, just leaving the university, no troubles. He has ever never been in any trouble, and got caught in crossfire and got shot in the head.
Horrible.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
auntie was. It's some of the things that happen in my hometown should never happen. My grandma and my aunt went to go visit. They're at McDonald's, and McDonald's, you know how the lane merges.
Yes.
Well, normally how it happens is whoever orders first, they move up first.
Right. Right.
Well, the girl didn't like that, and she pulled out a gun on my grandma.
First of all, I would have never known Milwaukee to be like this ever.
Pe-
Because
People don't know this side of Milwaukee.
oh my, I mean, my mind is blown away right now because I have friends that live in Milwaukee right now, and they talk about how it's just so freeing and you can just be yourself. And I'm like, you guys must only be in the city, like the city limits only, because
Yeah,
once you pass, a certain territory, they must
that's
not have been a part of that.
And that's exactly how it is. Milwaukee is beautiful. We have the best museums, the best art galleries, the best Lake Michigan. I mean, it is beautiful, but it is still so divided that if you go to a certain part of town, it's like you're in a war zone still. I mean, people in certain parts of town don't even stop at red lights. And I don't know if you know about the big story that's going on in my hometown right now. There's a big story
No.
about the white guy who killed the black girl and dismembered her body, and that just
Oh,
happened.
yes, and put her in a suitcase?
Yeah, that just happened last week, and that's in Milwaukee. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Jeffrey
I
Dahmer, Milwaukee.
yes. I did not know that. And honestly, I was talking about how like crazy the world just seems to just continue to get, like, no matter how much peace you put in, it just seems like you put one drop of peace in the world, there's two or three things that's happening simultaneously. And I was just talking to my dad about that incident because, you have you have friends, guys, girls that go out with somebody after one date and then be
Yeah.
wanting to go back to their house. And I'm like, I hate this happening to this individual, but I hope that this brings awareness to people in the dating world that people are ruthless out here. And for whatever reason, I don't know, are they saying that he did it for ethnicity reasons or
No, they're not saying why he did it. We still don't know why. The last time I checked the reports, they think that she was not the only African American girl, though they think it was another one also. So,
oh,
um,
he's a serial killer? I-
yeah, that's what it's starting to look like. And I'm like, oh, so that's why I'm kind of scared to go back to my hometown. Love my
yes.
hometown,
Okay.
but girl, I'm trying to be here and be gay and fabulous. Okay.
Oh, I'm coming there to visit you and bump Milwaukee because yeah, they won't be catching my ass there because I can promise you I'm scary and like we went to visit Chicago. Chicago was beautiful. I loved it. We even were considering moving there and I witnessed 3 cars get broken into and like stolen in broad daylight.
No.
And they were talking about we were in the best parts of Chicago. We were on the north side and the crime is limited. I was like, not in broad daylight, not at no lunchtime. We have
Right.
different cars getting broken into because my car would be gone in a hot second. So I
Right.
was like, Shelby, no, this is not going to be a good decision for us. We need to reconsider a better and safer environment that's a little bit more family friendly.
Right. And I do want to put a disclosure out there because I don't want nobody from my hometown trying to get at me, eat me up. Look,
No.
y'all, that was just my experience with my hometown. Um, that was my experience. So don't do me, okay?
Hey, I always tell people, don't come for me unless I send for you. And at the end of the day, it's your story. This is your podcast moment, and you can express what you want to. So you have my
Ooh,
backings to
there we go. I
support
love
you.
that.
Um, okay, so do you feel that based off of who you are today and your upbringings that has been or helped you in a positive manner?
Absolutely, I do. For the simple fact that I feel like Milwaukee still molded me. Like even though my hometown was rough and I seen some rough things growing up, um, it molded me to be the man I am today because I built that tough skin. I
Right.
knew that like when I walked and this is kind of sad to say, but when I walked down the block, I had to hold myself in a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? Which kind of helped me as a gay man, but as a black man also in
Yes.
society. So it helped me in those kind of ways. You know, I grew up with all my guy cousins, even though my guy cousins, you know, like yeah, my guy cousins, they was out there trapping at the time. But you know, they molded me just to be this mature young black man to stand up for myself and not to care what nobody else think. So my hometown did build me in that way.
I love that. And I think that it's beautiful, from a black man, but also a man part of the LGBTQIA plus community is it's good to put out there that I feel, how can I put this? Black men so often are not allowed to express their emotions or express
Mhm.
who they are from I would say what people would call a feminine side without you constantly have to put up this stature of like I'm hard, I can handle my own, which is great. I'm
Yeah,
happy that you can, but at the same time it's also okay to let people know that it was an uncomfortable place for
yeah,
you and how you're grateful that where your life is now because you can actually live free and you don't have to be on this status of like I got to walk the streets a certain way so that if I get attacked I'm ready and guarded.
right.
um I just think that that's really beautiful and also beautiful that you're able to see how different and how freeing you're able to be compared to the ones that are still there.
Yep. So it molded me, and I love it. I do want to go back. So my goal is to go back this summer.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be my last time back, but I am gonna go back this summer.
Okay, are y'all doing a family trip or just you and Deacon?
It's me and Deacon, but I'm gonna go see because my dad's side of the family is still all there. And
Okay.
me and my dad just started kind of rekindling a friendship. My dad was kind of, I mean, just to be honest, he was never there for me. And then you know when I went viral, he didn't pop up into my life because I went viral. He was just like, you know what, that's my son, and I'm proud of him. And
I
we
love
just had a very heart to heart moment. And I told my dad, I said, um, you know, if you wasn't there for me, but if you could be there for if you could be there for your grandkids, my future kids that I'm gonna have, we can rebuild our relationship and start all the way over again. You
love
know, and now that me and my dad are on a better track as two black men getting to know each other, I
Yes.
need to go see him.
And how long did you all go without speaking or seeing one another?
Yeah, well, I haven't saw my dad face to face in about 18 years since I
Wow.
left Milwaukee.
Wow.
And we look just alike, which is the wild part. Me and my dad look identical. Um,
You'll have to see a picture
yeah, I'm going to
one
send
day.
you a
You
picture.
go. You're gonna have to, yes.
Yes. But no, my dad was just one of those people that him and my mom had me at a very, very young age. Him and my mom had me, they were both 16 when I was born. My mom just stepped into the plate as a single parent, as she had to help my grandparents, on her side. But with my dad, he was just kind of in and out of my life. So, it was, and I did blame him for years because I'm like, why are you not there for me? You said you're gonna pick me up, and then I don't hear from you for 2 years, and it was just kind of in and out like that. But as I got older as a man, I wanted to understand the reasoning why that happened.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when we sat down and we had a heart to heart, I understood him a lot more because he was lost. He didn't know what to do, and I wanted to understand um, why sometimes this happens for Black men that they're
Yes.
not there for their kids. I wanted to understand that so I could help kind of bridge that gap and maybe be a story for somebody else.
I love that. Is there anything based off of y'all's conversation and understanding why that you would like to disclose here?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Like our personal conversation, me and my dad?
Yeah, like why bridging that gap for Black men of why men feel like they can't show up, and be a consistent father figure.
Oh yeah. So I mean, the main reason what his dad wasn't there for him. So that was the number one thing that I didn't even know that because me and my dad didn't talk like that. So
Right.
I didn't realize that his dad wasn't there for him like that. And I get it. For everybody else, they're different. For me, some people are fight or flight. For
Hmm.
me, I like to show up and solve the problem. For some
Yes.
people, they like to run away from the problem. And I can't blame him for that. But in that conversation, his dad wasn't there for him, so he didn't know how to be a father. He was so young, he was scared of the responsibility. And then when he wasn't showing up the way he was supposed to show up for me, he didn't know how to bridge that gap then. And then when I became a man, a grown man past the age of 18, he didn't know how to reach out to me because he was afraid that I was always going to be angry at him, which I was. So when he would call my phone, I would be like, I wanted to fight my daddy for years. You know what I mean? Just because, like,
Yeah.
I
For
was
sure.
hurt. Like, why are you not there for me? But when we sat down and had that heart to heart, I said, this is just another. I had to talk to him like another Black man, not as a father, as a Black man. And why didn't you show up for me? What past trauma did you go through? You know what I mean? And just to go off topic a little bit, me and Deacon, we have this heart to heart all the time, and we say this conversation actually goes back to slavery when they were taking kids away from their parents
Yes.
and
Yes.
from their wives and stuff like that. It goes deep. It goes deep, and I had to realize this is not just a surface issue. It
Right.
goes deeper than that. So if I could give any advice to anybody out there who is dealing with something that like I dealt with, please have a heart to heart conversation, but more than anything, see your parent as just a human being
Hmm.
and not as a parent, and just have that conversation with them because this is their first time living, also. And we can't forget, we think our parents know it all. They don't. This
No,
is their first time on earth, also, and they're learning as they grow.
I love that. Oh, I'm gonna, yes, yes. You said it perfectly, Ty.
Thank
Yes,
you.
that. And on the same thing, um, someone that is needing help with forgiveness, what pointers would you have with the practice and the work that you took upon forgiving your father?
You know what? When you start doing inner work on yourself, forgiveness is just going to be part of the process. Because if you hold anger in your heart, it's only affecting you. And when you're holding anger in your heart, you got to ask yourself, why do I have this anger? Why does it bother me so much? And if the anger is there in your heart, get the answers you need to. And if you can't get the answers you need to find a way to release that so you can be a better person.
Yes, yes. So, thank you for sharing that. And
Of
I think
course, of
it's
course.
cool, and I can't wait to continue hearing the journey of you and your dad, rekindling this and getting closer and your experience back home in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I can't wait to follow up with this. So I can't wait.
And then we've covered that. So of course, like I shared before, anything that you're not comfortable with talking about, we do not have to. So you can just say, I don't want to talk about that. But I want to make this as candid and as transparent as possible, just because I feel like you deserve that, and you're
Oh,
just a wonderful person. And so many
thank
people,
you.
especially myself, grow and learn so much from you. So, because you give so much to the world.
Thank you
But
so much.
if you don't mind me asking, how has your journey of being a Black man, part of the LGBTQIA community been?
You know what? Whew, that is something I'm actually dealing with at this very moment. Just because being a black gay man, there's so many levels to it. And I noticed that I didn't notice this till recently. I never really had a lot of gay friends growing up. You know what I mean? Unless it was in high school, I never
Yeah.
had a lot of gay friends. And it was this stigma to me because I didn't know where I fit in. Just because sometimes when people see gay people, they see us all together, not realizing that within our own world, we're going through our own things. Within
Yeah.
our own community, there's racism. Within our own community, there's so much judgment. And I was always so judged for being who I was, even within my own community, that I feel like I lived as a gay black male in my own world, like tunnel vision.
Mhm.
And I am, and I think that helped me in some ways, but in other ways, I was like, dang, I never had that genuine group of gay friends. You know what I mean? I never had that before. And now that I'm 34 years old, I want that. I want to be able to call up my gay best friend or my gay guy friend and talk drama or go have a and I don't have that. I still have my best friends and I have my partner. And it's to the point now where it's so funny because I'm now trying to do a lot more work within the LGBTQ plus community
Mhm.
because I feel like I missed out on that, but I want to get back because I know there's people out there that feel the same way I do, just because they feel like within our own community they feel like an outcast, you
Yeah.
know. So I'm like, how can I even bridge that gap?
Well, I'm so happy that you're saying this because I'm in the same boat right now. Like, of course, you have your heterosexual friends
Yep.
that, you can give all the girl and guy advice to, and, all the things that they go through on a daily basis. But, like, just to be, I'll give you an example. Like last year when Target has been having Pride for years now. This
Yep.
is nothing new. But, everybody, because of the trans stuff, they just went up in arms. And it would have been really nice to have a friend, a part of our community, to call and just for reassurance or validation that the things that you were going through, that I was going through, was okay.
Yep.
Because all of my straight friends, single, with children, no children, they all had their opinion, but not one of them checked in to see
Mm.
how it affected me and my family,
Oof.
and it's hard because like you said, we go through our own issues, we go through our own, it's kind of like we're our own type of nationality in a
Yep.
sense of our own,
Yep.
plus having to be a person of color, and then don't even talk about being like a female and then being a passing, what they would consider a passing female, because a lot of people are like, oh, what does your husband do for work? And I'm like, you mean my wife?
Yeah.
So constantly having to correct people, constantly having to put yourself in uncomfortable situations because one, a person has put you in an uncomfortable situation, and I'm in the same boat, Ty. Like,
Yeah.
one, you have my number now, so
Yes.
anytime we're gonna become our each other's besties
We
in
are.
our,
We are. We are.
because I adore you. So, if you ever need a friend, because just being transparent, like that was a very dark. I didn't realize it was a dark time, but it
Yeah.
was a really hard realization of like the moment you feel like, oh, I don't care what people think of me, and then you see another community within our community, the trans community, start getting attacked and people providing their feedbacks
Yep.
of something that has nothing to do with them, and I'm like, didn't your grandmother ever tell you it doesn't cost you $1 to be nice? And if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all,
Right.
you
Right.
know? But yes, I'm here for you, and I definitely will start practicing when I'm preaching. I will pick up my phone and say, I need a friend. Can you please talk?
I know, and thank you. And I would do the same thing. I'm one of those people that I don't do that enough. I don't. You know, I grew up trying to be Superman, and like even Superman needs a backup.
Yes, yes, that is so true. That's so true. Now, now that you are the sole owner of Fierce Fitness
Yes.
and traveling literally all over the globe, you're in the airports every week. Poor thing,
Yes.
you constantly get stuck in the airport too with them
I do. I
cancellations.
do. I do.
But I'm so grateful for you sharing your passion and your gift with all of us. You know, the confidence boosting from that to just the overall health and fitness, but also people don't realize you is when you're working on health and fitness and wellness, it all starts in the mind. And
Yep.
I just love, you know, your mantra, your slogan. I love everything about Fierce Fitness. And
Thank
I
you.
can't tell you that enough. But I would love for you to just share with us your journey of, you know, did you always know that you were going to own a big time dance company like you do? And also, what was that journey like starting Fierce Fitness?
um, so I always knew I wanted to be a dancer. I always knew that I was gonna do something different. I always knew in my mind, like, what society taught me, like, I didn't want to work a regular job, and nothing's wrong with working a regular job, working for anybody else. I just knew that I wanted something different. I have a lot of energy. My journey to get here for Fierce Fitness has been absolutely amazing. There has been so many ups and downs, but I would not change it for the world because I'm able to travel the world and touch so many people. And I mean, now I have over 100 instructors that teach Fierce Fitness, including yourself. I have four different formats under, Fierce Fitness. I
Yeah.
have Fierce Fitness, my dance format. I have Fierce Kickboxing, which is my kickboxing format. I have Fierce Step, which is my step format. I have R&B Flow, which is like my yoga format. So it's beautiful. But my journey to get here all started in my mom's garage. I
I can't
had to
believe
be When I moved to Florida, that's when I started getting a dance team, and I just started like making up routines in my garage with my friends. I had four close friends. They would come over, we would make up routines, and we just would love it. And then we actually started traveling the world actually, and we started back up dancing. My dance company at that time was called Forever Fierce.
that.
So it was
Okay.
Forever Fierce Dance Company. It was two girls and two guys, including myself. One of my dancers was Jose, which is Vanessa Vanjie from RuPaul's Drag Race now.
Yes.
So my friend has became very famous.
Yes.
And
And I love them. Like literally was obsessed whenever they were on RuPaul. But go ahead.
yes, so absolutely amazing. And we started. One day we just got discovered, and we started like backup dance for like Alexa Mateo, Coco Montrese. We started traveling with these drag queens from the show, which was amazing. But one day I came home and I was just like, I want something more. And at this time, I was 270 pounds. So I was
Wow.
heavier. And I just knew like traveling the world was kind of cool, and backup dancing for these drag queens was amazing within the community. Um, but there was still something missing. And that's when I went to somebody invited me to my first Zumba class. And I remember telling my friend, Zumba girl, I'm a professional dancer. I don't need Zumba. Went to my first Zumba class and almost passed out like in the first 3 minutes. And I was like, what is this? I became a Zumba instructor, but I was breaking all of the Zumba rules. So I said, you know what? I'm good at choreography. I'm good at dance to hip hop music. How can I create my own? And I
Right.
started practicing Fierce Fitness in my mom's garage. That's what I called it back then. And I ended up losing 60 pounds in 6 months.
Wow.
And that journey of losing 60 pounds in 6 months, I became so much more confident. I just was like, I was this brand new person. It was like my early 20s. I remember I lost weight and I was just like, this is like an exclusive. I lost weight and I was feeling so good about myself. I ended up being a go-go dancer at Pulse.
I, oh
Yes,
my
I worked
goodness.
at Pulse as a go-go dancer before, the tragedy happened. I was
Yes.
actually a go-go dancer there.
I love that, first of all, because every place I can go and just dance my ass off, I'm doing it on
Right.
stage and everything. Even if
Right.
there's professional dancers there, I'm like, can I join you for the night? So I love that. How many
Yeah.
years were you there?
Oh, girl, I lasted like 2 months. And I was like, oh, this is a lot for me. So I was there for like 2 months. You know what? It was like I wanted to be a dancer, but with being a go-go dancer, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you gotta get a little nasty up in here and like a little ratchet. I was like, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
Um, but I had an amazing time. It was an amazing experience. I wouldn't take it back. And then literally, like, I just started teaching classes in Kissimmee, Florida, which is like where Disney is outside of Orlando. My first class, I had like 60, 70 people. I was like, what is this? And then from there, just people were hooked on like this. I don't know if it was the name, it was my energy. I don't know what it was, but I taught and people just, and I would teach in different areas, and I never had numbers under 30 people.
That is beautiful. And so, how long did it take you to get where you're at today? How many years?
Oh, well, so people think like, oh, he did this and he went viral overnight.
No.
No, my company is actually going on 10 years next year. So I
Wow.
have been at this since 2015.
Whew.
And I just been consistent. I just
Yeah.
never gave up on my dream. Like legit, like not at this time I didn't have a car, taking a bus, making $15 a class. I just knew that that energy when I was teaching, that energy with teaching the room was just, it was beautiful. It was just, I just felt like I was helping people in a way that I couldn't understand,
Mhm.
but it was just like I was doing something to put a smile on people's face. And by putting a smile on people's face, it made me feel so good. And then literally in I think it was 2022 or 2021, I was making TikToks. It was literally what I always do. We dance and we make videos after class. One day I woke up and Viola Davis and Beyonce's mom reposted my video and my life changed.
First of all, Viola Davis is that queen. I absolutely
Period.
love her. So the fact that she shared, I mean, Beyonce's mom as well, respect to Mrs. Knowles, but like, oh my gosh, like Viola Davis.
Yes. And it just
And
like
you know, Queen Bee seen it because her mom
I
shared
know,
it. So,
right? So I'm like, I know Beyonce, you saw my video, but no, it's just like that's what it took. Like, I wasn't doing anything different. I tell people all the time, I just stay consistent. Like, even with I worked at Nike at this time. I was at Nike for 8 years. I could have moved up in that company because in that company at Nike, I just feel like I was showing up late, but I just knew how to do my job, and I couldn't do no wrong at that job because they knew I knew how to do my job correctly. But that's not what I wanted for myself. I was still teaching my dance classes. And when I went viral, I kept showing up for myself. Because people these days, they take a viral moment and think their life is going to change. No, you got to go viral and you got to be better now. You
yeah.
have to run it like a business. And from there, that's when I got signed by Gatorade. That's when I got my Fitbit deals. That's when I just started traveling the world. And now my company is able to sustain itself to the point where my company is my job. I live in my dream apartment right now, and I'm not where I want to be. I want to buy a condo. I want so much more for myself, but I am so happy for what I have right now. And I'm happy because, 2025, this is an exclusive. I'm going on a tour and it's going to be United States and I'm going to the UK also. So there's so many big things coming up.
Yes, we do need to talk about that, but we'll talk about it offline. But I want to talk to you about that. So we'll keep that
I
going.
got
Yeah,
you.
I'm so excited for you, Ty. And also I just want to say I know that you have a big fan base from a friend to friend, I'm very proud of you
Thank you.
because um starting my the dance to fit with Carly, that has been a beautiful transition, but I think the most rewarding part of it is the thrill of being able to show up for, even if it's just one person, that you're making a positive change for that
Yep.
person, whether if it's mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever. You're teaching them also. And I think that that's what I've had to learn in this past year is you can't walk the talk anymore. When you're teaching someone how to regain self-esteem and confidence and wanting to feel better in their clothes or to lose weight, or not even to lose weight, but the tone, you have to practice that as well.
Yes.
And you also have to remind yourself that it's important for you to fill your cup so that you can be an energy source to fill someone else's.
Yep.
So I've learned all of that stuff from being an instructor with Fierce Fitness and from following you for this time. And I just can't thank you enough
Oh,
for what you do and for all of us. So continue doing you, boo. The
thank you
next
so
question
much.
is, I know that we all love Jessica. Jessica James. She's beautiful. She has the Dance to
Yeah.
Fit franchise, and she's a great friend of yours as well. And I
Yes.
wanted to ask, what has that relationship looked like? How did y'all meet? And, who are y'all as the yin and yangs of dance companies now?
So me and Jessica ended up meeting. I think it was like 2019. I want to say.
Okay, so not too long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago. So she was actually coming. She was going on tour like she always does. Jessica goes on these worldwide tours, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, and she was coming to Orlando, and we follow each other on Instagram. And I was a big like fan of hers. I was like, she is out here doing it. You know what I mean? Jessica has always been doing it from the start.
The
I give her credit.
pathway.
Always. I mean, I think to me, she was the first person out here doing live stream. She said
Yes.
that, and that was before COVID. You know what I mean? Before everybody jumped on. And then she hit me up and she said, I want you to open up for me. And I was like, oh, yes, I would love to open up for you
Me
because,
too.
like, that was an honor for me.
Yes.
Um, so she came to Orlando. I ended up opening up for her, and I just would never forget. Like the first time I met her and Dre too, her husband. It was
Yes.
just so much love, so much
Yes.
love. I remember the room was packed out here in Orlando, and I was so nervous. I got up there, I just, sometimes I turn it off and I just do my thing. As
Mhm.
soon as I started dancing, Jessica had never seen me dance in person. Dre had never seen me dance at all, her husband. And I remember as soon as I started dancing, Dre had his phone out and he looked such like a proud parent. Like Dre was like, "Who's this guy?" Like he just started smiling, and it just felt like it was so much love.
I
And
love
from
that.
there, we just always stayed in contact. She started bringing me out after COVID. She started flying me out to her studio to teach her live stream platform, which was amazing because I'm like, it got me out there to her Dance to Fit family and stuff like that. So my reach went from like 8,000 at that. Well, I had like 7,000 followers. I almost went to like 15,000 followers because her reach, was amazing. And then one day we just talked, and I said, let's team up together in a way that I come to your live stream, and we don't need to be in competition with each other. You got Dance to Fit, I got Fierce Fitness, but let's give them a little bit of both. Let's offer both on one platform. And still to this day, I love Jessica. I still go to Knoxville. I still teach my classes once a month. And it is nothing but love, and there is no competition there. It's just two different dance formats, and we know that we can merge together to influence and to change the lives of even more people.
Yes. Well, and that is beautiful. I think that, when you're all serving one purpose,
Yep.
the key is to reach out to as many people as you can. And why not work together? And I think that you guys both are doing a wonderful job with making that as an example. And also, I'm really happy and excited to see and to hear all about the upcoming cruise that you all are going on.
Yes.
My daughter is graduating next month, so I will not be able to attend because I'm taking a week off for graduation stuff.
Yes.
But I cannot wait to hear all about it, and hopefully in the near future, 2025, maybe if it happens again, I will be on that cruise ship with y'all.
Yes, you gotta come cruise with us.
Well, and also, before we switch to the next topic, I wanted to ask, how was that? Um, I think we already talked about that. Hold on, let me make sure.
I got you.
Yes, we talked about that, about Beyonce's mom, and yes, my brain just literally did like a
Oh,
lapse. Sorry about that.
I do that all the time. Trust me. Trust me.
We talked about that. Okay, so next topic. With the constant moving pieces of running businesses, traveling every week, I think you travel probably multiple times in that week, but
Yes.
you're consistently gone every week. Working and, of course, managing your beautiful relationship with Deacon. Here's
Yes.
Deacon's moment. How has balancing the relationship and your relationship with Deacon been since pretty much going viral too?
You know what? It has been beautiful and it has helped our relationship for me traveling. I was so scared at first when I went, well, first of all, when I went viral, I was happy to have Deacon by my side because Deacon was my hype man from the jump.
I love
Hype man, if I just, I have excitement, I got some news to share with him, he is equally as excited as I am.
I
If
love
I
that.
got right, and if I have any business ideas, how matter how crazy there are, he like, all right, baby, let's go for it. What do you need from me? So he is literally my backbone.
He sounds like Shelby to me. Because that's how
Yes.
she is. She's always like, I already know it's a new adventure. Because people be like, how do you keep up with all Carly's stuff? And I'm like, she's my biggest hype man. And that's how I feel like partnership should be.
It should, you know. So he's my Deacon is my biggest hype man. Because I can tell you right now, my last relationship, it was not that way. So I'm grateful to have Deacon. With the traveling, at first it scared me. So at first, like when I first started traveling, Deacon would travel with me a lot. And then I realized I was like, I don't think he likes the traveling with me part because he doesn't like to be gone like that. And then I had to realize you can be my biggest hype man and my biggest supporter from the outside without necessarily being in my world.
Yeah.
And when I say my world, I mean my dance world because Deacon doesn't like cardio. He's not the biggest dancer.
Mhm.
But so when I travel without him. And now it makes us stronger because when I come back home, I miss him. When I come
Yes.
back home, I come back home to like a home cooked meal and he always got flowers for me and I miss him so much. So when it made our relationship a lot stronger because when I travel, it's just like I come home to my safe place. Not
Mhm.
only is my home my safe place, but my fiance is my safe place,
I
and
love that.
that is the most beautiful feeling.
Now, is Deacon from Florida?
No, Deacon is from Albuquerque. We actually met on an online dating app.
Okay. And how was that intro with one
It,
another?
you know what? Deacon remembers the story a little differently, but I remember the story by I downloaded the app. Deacon hit me up. I ignored him for a couple days because I
Okay.
was just not ready for a relationship. I had just got out of a relationship,
Okay.
and my partner at that time, no shade, no tea, he cheated on me with my friend. So when Deacon hit me up, I downloaded this app, and when Deacon hit me up, I was like, child, look this young boy like because we have 7 years difference in our
I did
age.
not know that. I
Yeah,
did
me
not.
and Deacon, we have a 7 year age difference. So I was just like, oh, here we go, this young thing. So I ignore him. And then something about his energy through the phone was just like magical. It felt beautiful. So I flew him out here to come visit me in Orlando from Albuquerque. And we did that like every other weekend for like probably 6 months. Every other weekend he would come out here and come visit me. Because he owns a crystal business too. So he was able to have that freedom to come visit me. And then one day we went out to the club. We had some drinks. We got kind of lit. He was supposed to take a flight out at 6 a.m. that morning. Of course, he didn't make it. And he never left.
Y'all go back and get his stuff, or he
Yeah,
was
we
just.
went back like weeks later, got his stuff, and then my man just came back.
I love that, and I love y'all. Like you and Deacon are so cute. I mean, just
Oh,
so adorable, and I
thank you.
love the fact that he is so supportive, and he just seems like just a piece of calm energy. Like I haven't met him in person yet,
Yeah.
but when I see him on social media, I'm like, Deacon just lets Ty be himself
Yep.
and he's just there. And I know that he's like in a crowded room, you can look out and y'all will match eyes and you're like, okay, I'm safe because I'm in the room with my
Yep.
boo. But I am able to be just as free as a bird. So
That's how it
y'all,
is. He is my calming peace. Like he is always calm, always peaceful. And I need that because I'm always on 10.
yes, yeah. I love that for you. And then also, how do you prioritize your own mental health?
Oh, I just started to make that a priority probably a year ago because my mental health was not the best. Just because I just wanted to give so much of myself, I
Yes,
wasn't filling my own cup, and I had to realize that I had to make that change because my relationship was suffering. Not
yes.
that me and Deacon were getting into fights or anything like that, because me and Deacon have never, we don't fight. We really just talk our issues out. But what was happening was I was coming back from out of town and I was so drained. I wasn't giving him the best version of myself. And I
Hmm.
was like, you know what? I need to make sure I'm taking care of not only my mental health for my relationship also.
Yes,
So for me now, I know how to take time for myself. I know how to when I post content now, I post it because I want to post it, and it's authentic content.
I love that.
Um, I have no, I don't go out to clubs and stuff like that. That's just I'm not like a club person. I might go out once every 6 months because I love a good drag show. Um,
I
but
do too.
now my peace, I made my home. My home is literally my safe space. I meditate every day now. I take cold showers. That is like, I go for walks, and when I go for walks, I don't put in music because my job is music. So I call them like meditation walks where I just go, I listen to the wind, I listen to the birds, I kind of tune into nature. Um, and I just chill. That's just my thing. I just make sure like you might see hype Ty on the internet, but when I come home, I am chill Ty. Okay.
I love that. I love that. And what advice would you give to the audience in assisting with mental health and ways to practice being their healthiest self?
Take your mental health seriously. You know, a lot of people we out here would say we throw the mental health word out here so much, but what are we doing for our mental health? You know, so meditate. Meditation changed my life. Meditation changed my life. People don't understand. When I was in high school, I was hype. I was a dancer, but I was a very negative person. From the age
That.
I was so negative. Let me tell you something. From the age of 15 to 22, I was your biggest hater. I was a hater. I was hating on everybody, okay? Your hair was ugly, your teeth was crooked. It was like I was a hater. I was just negative, and I had to focus. I was like, why was I negative? My past, maybe my dad, maybe I wasn't happy with myself.
You had a
So
lot of
once my anger, and once I started meditating, my whole life became calm. And I was like, yo, what is this zen quiet thing that's making me focus on myself? So meditate, breathing techniques. So anytime you find yourself getting flustered, take a moment for yourself to just bring yourself back down and ground yourself. But
yeah,
meditation changed my life. And it doesn't, people think with meditation it got to be an hour, 2 hours. No, sis, take 5 minutes to yourself. 5 minutes to yourself. I don't care if it's in the closet, in the
yeah,
bathroom, taking a walk. Take 5 minutes to calm your brain down.
yes. I love that. And also from a black man, I want to like reiterate that just being vulnerable and authentic of the importance of centering yourself, because I always tell people if you are not balanced, your brain, not to get like scientific or whatever, but like our brains can't function in overdrive. We are
Yep.
our most authentic self when our brain is able to calmly, out of a fight or flight situation, think and
Yep.
process things. And so many people think that I'm just this weird woman because I'm like, have you done your breathing techniques today? Have you, I wake up every morning and before I do anything, I turn on my 10-minute meditation noise.
Yes.
And I literally meditate for 10 minutes every morning. And then I also meditate in the sauna because I'm like, that is how I'm able to juggle so much stuff, is because
Yes.
I'm able to, one, recharge, like you were saying, when you go on walks or whatever is refilling for yourself. Don't have your phone there. Don't feel like the need of needing to respond to people so fast. I'm bad at that because I feel guilty because I'm like, oh, this person might, their schedules may be determining whether on my schedule. Like, so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
let me shoot them a text real quick. But I've had to learn, Carly, the work will be here. Put your
Yep.
phone down and, center yourself for a few minutes. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course. Oh, and one last thing I gotta say is
Yeah.
plants. Plants. I fell in love with plants. Plants
Oh,
are
you're
my life. I'm a plant. Oh, I have like 27 plants in my house.
Oh my gosh, Ty, I love you because I'm the same way. And I
Yeah.
play opera music for my plants because that excites them. Just so you
Oh,
know. So if you ever
I
need,
didn't
yes,
know
watch
that.
music from YouTube. Yes, they will. I don't know what kind of plants you have, but like my pothos, they literally start getting like strong in the stems. And I have a rattlesnake. It's a reverse snake plant, but I think it's called a
Yes.
rattlesnake. I have a lot of plants in my office, and literally, I turn on opera music on Saturdays and Sundays, and they be in heaven.
Oh, I gotta see now. Sundays is my plant day, so they finna get some opera music all day on Sunday.
Please, please. And then, is there anything else? Sorry, I cut you off about plants. I got
Oh no, that
excited.
was the last thing. Is plants like plants really change my environment so much. Like my when I put plants in my house, there's just something about just having plants around you, and that
Yes,
is a scientific fact that it
yes,
just brings you calm and peace.
it does, and it brings you more oxygen, like clean oxygen
Right.
for inhaling. that's why they're all in my office. One, the sun is better in that room, but two, when I'm in there getting stressed out, I look at my plants and they just give me a zen.
Yep.
I'm like, I done smoked the blunt when I really hadn't, but that.
Period. I know that's right.
Okay, so whatever you feel comfortable with, please share. Um, if there's any closing pieces before I ask you the last two questions, you have anything else you would like to share that we didn't cover?
No, I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a great
Okay,
time.
well, good. So the last two questions are: one, what three pieces of advice would you give to someone who share a similar story or path as yourself?
Ooh, three pieces of advice.
Hmm.
First piece of advice is be authentic from the jump. Be authentic and stay authentic. I think that is so important because that's one thing about myself that I never realized when people used to tell me never change who you are, keep being yourself. I was like, what you mean? But it was basically saying keep being authentically you.
Yes,
And I say that because when you be authentically you from the jump, your tribe is going to find you. Stop
that's
trying to
true.
find your tribe. When you show up as yourself, your tribe is going to find you. My next piece of advice is energy is everything. It's so transferable. So make sure you protect your energy and make sure you're always giving out the best energy. And that could look something like when you go to the store and somebody gives you attitudes, don't give them attitude back. Just brush it off and go along with your day.
Hmm.
Because what normally happens is we could be in traffic with somebody, but somebody cut us off, and now we mad, and now we go home, and now we're mad at our kids, we're mad at our girlfriend, our boyfriend, we're mad at our mom, and we're all our energy is all messed up because of something that happened in traffic. So
Yes.
make sure you're protecting your energy. And the last piece of advice I would give is how I'm trying to see how can I word this because I say it in my class. Don't judge yourself.
Yes.
Stop
That's
judging yourself. And I still have to tell myself that to this day. Um, if it feels goofy, go for it. If it feels crazy, go for it. If you feel like you're not the best, you can always be better, but stop judging yourself and putting yourself down in a negative way. And a perfect example of that is I just did a video probably 3 days ago on social media. And for social media, I'm scared to be goofy. Um, but I did this video of a guy on a motorcycle and he fell.
yes.
Yeah, you saw that. So
Yes,
the
I
guy,
loved it.
so me making that video, I felt so goofy. The guy fell off the motorcycle, and I trickled into the screen as a transition, and I
Yes,
had to roll over, and Deacon recorded for me. And the whole time I said I want to do this video, and then I did it, and then I got scared to post it because I was like, "This is goofy. People are gonna judge me." I posted that video online, and people loved it.
I loved it.
Thank
Hmm.
you. And I said, this is what I'm doing. I'm over here judging myself. And by just me being goofy and showing it to the world, I didn't know that video was going to take off like that. So don't judge yourself.
And I just was impressed with that transition because I was like, I would not have been able to be coordinated enough to finish that role by being myself. I was like, he killed this video. So good job to you because I just thought it was amazing. I
Thank you.
shared it like three times to do three,
Oh, thank
and I
you.
reposted it.
Yeah, because the girl, I had a headache when I got done. I had rolled over like 20 times to get it right.
Now, do you believe in manifestation? Me,
Absolutely.
I do.
Absolutely. I feel like I've manifested me going viral.
Really?
Yeah, I that I so meditations, like I meditate, and that week I was going really deep with my meditations. Like I never forget. I don't know how far you ever meditated, but I meditated so far that so it was a Monday and I went viral on a Wednesday or on a Thursday, sorry. So that Monday I was meditating and I was doing like it was an 11-minute and 11-second meditation
Hmm.
that I found on YouTube. And legit, like I think that day before I went viral, I said like I want something big to happen because I wasn't believing in myself. And when I meditated, I swear I feel like I was with the stars or something. Like I feel like I had smoked like 5 times or something like that. Like I was in the universe. And when I came back to my body, I was like, woo, that was deep. And I never forget, I told Deacon after that meditation, I said, hey, something is gonna happen this week. I got a feeling that something's gonna happen this week. And the next day, that's when I went viral.
That's beautiful because I am really deep into that meditation as well. And sometimes I don't know if you've ever meditated and you've been able to see something.
Mhm.
Like some people call it deja vu, but I feel like it's not deja vu. It's just you're kind of drawing out what your vision or what you're
Yep.
asking to happen.
Yep.
And I told Shelby this exact same story. I had manifested my car that I have because I have an Audi Q5.
Come
And
on through.
I was like, honestly, I said for my 25th birthday, I want a white Audi. I want it to be this certain price, and I want it to have peanut butter interior. Well,
Yes.
every car was like double, triple the price I had wrote down. And Shelby was like, Carly, you're not gonna get this car. Like and I
Yeah.
said, no, I'm going to find this car. This car is mine. I went to the BMW car lot and I was walking the parking lot, and this guy was like, "You're not gonna find really any Audis here. This is the BMW car lot." And I said, "My car is here." I told
Yeah.
him, and he was like, "Okay," and he just walked away. And I called Shelby. I remember this like it was yesterday. I called Shelby, and I was like, "This man thinks I'm fucking crazy." Like that's
Yeah.
literally what I said. Looking at me in a BMW car lot, and I'm telling him that an Audi's supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Well, here comes this white Audi coming out of the wash bay area. And I was like, well, maybe that's someone's car that, they was getting it serviced or whatever reason it would be
Yeah.
there. I was like, I'm going to go ask them because the car ended up parking where the sales cars were, the cars that were
Yeah.
on. And so I walked up to him and I said, is that car for sale? And he was like, yeah, we just got it in today and we haven't even put it through the system. And I said, well, can you ask what y'all accept? And the guy was like, well, what are you willing to pay? And I told them the number. And literally the next day I picked my car up.
Wow.
And that's exactly how it happened. And I was like, and Shelby's like, I be damn, like manifestation does work. And I was like, yes, like you constantly, I be journaling, writing all this stuff down. I go and meditate. And while I'm meditating, I'm literally like looking and revising like what I want to happen. And so much has happened in, I
Yep.
consider my short life because I'm like, you know, our parents always say, oh, well, you live your dreams out when you're 50, 60 years old. Well, we're not promised tomorrow. So I
Right.
always say, no, I want to live within the best of my abilities and get what I want now because I feel like we work so hard for it. So
Exactly.
I'm happy to hear that you're also in the same boat because, like, some
Yeah.
days I be like, I'm in the skies all by myself.
Oh, I feel like that sometimes too, but like, no, I'm like, I know it's if you can, if we can manifest bad things, people sometimes
Yes,
people say, people don't realize when you're having a bad day, what happens? Your shirt get caught on the door, you're running late for work, you spill coffee. We see that in movies all the time, and that's manifesting because you had a bad day, and now all these bad things are happening. Well, why can it happen in the opposite way?
exactly. Exactly. You're exactly right. And then in closing, what would you say to your younger self?
Oh, so my younger self, I would tell my younger self to stay true to who you are, believe in yourself. I know you may feel like this weird kid inside. You may feel lost. You may feel like, where do you fit in? But your tribe is going to find you.
Love
You're going
that.
to change lives. And to be proud of myself, because that's one thing I still struggle with, is being proud of myself and my accomplishments. So be proud of myself.
Well, I mean, perfectly said. And I just want to once again thank you. And I also want to thank you all for tuning in. And
Yes,
I hope
thank
that
y'all.
you all enjoy this episode. And just remember that you are loved and you have to love yourself to be an honor for someone to love you. And so, in that closing, Ty, I'll allow you to close us on out. And I just want to say thank you.
Yes, and I would just say to everyone out there, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for having me as a guest. And please stay consistent. If you have a dream, do not give up on your dream. Look at Miss Stephanie. When we went viral, she was 73 years old and never thought that she would go viral at 73 and be on TV shows. So it can happen for you too. But as always, I hope you guys are having a positive day with a positive mind, a positive heart, and a positive soul.
Ow. Bye.
And